Good morning and welcome to the Weekender. It's been 2 weeks since we've done a Weekender, so this one's long overdue and
we have a lot to cover.
It's okay, sit back, relax. Hopefully everybody that's important to you is having a sleep in on this Saturday morning, and we're going to be here for a while, about 4.5 hours. Right, let's get stuck in.
I'm going to be dead by the end of this edit.
I am, of course, joined by the mighty, the incredible brain for all things geek, Stu McInnes.
Sans cold today. If you remember last time, we were in the hazmat suits and the... well, yes. I wasn't. I was obviously bringing, like Typhon, I was bringing the plague to all. But no,
you're healthy, you're beaming.
Yeah, not bad. I still got a little bit of a... but no, I'm pretty good.
You got something caught in your throat. Justin has a cure for that. Anyway, speaking of Justin, this episode is brought to you by the letter
H.
H. Of course, it could only be Ming the Hapless.
Ming the Hapless. So I'm not going to be Ming the Heartless, Ming the Hopeless, anything like that.
Ming the Hairless?
Ming the Hairless works, although I do have a little bit of stubble today.
What? Your stubble kind of goes all the way around.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't go all the way around. It goes up and around, back, forward, down and around. Hence the reason I shave my head.
I'm looking around for a piece of polystyrene because I'm pretty sure I could shave it into the shape of a hill or an asteroid just off the side of your head. Anyway, Justin, as you know, is back from Salute.
Yep.
And we had a great time at Salute. And we're going to be talking about Salute a little bit later in the show. Because this show, we've got a ton of prizes to announce.
Yeah, we have a good chunk of prizes to announce.
And a giveaway if you want to join Justin at an event next weekend.
Yep, and we also have a call to arms for some of our viewers out there as well. Because,
cool. So stay tuned for that. But I'm going to kick off with a convention that we're running. It's called the Grumpy Old Wargamers Convention. It's been run by Beast 4, Tabletop Nation, and the mighty Templar Crusade 01. Brian. Big Brian. I love him. So this is just a shout out to say, yes, the convention is going. Stu, can you fill us in on the details? And
we got loads of stuff going on. So anybody that was at International Tabletop Day at Tabletop Nation, there'd be a lot of the elements that were really successful and fun there. We're doing that again. So there'll be loads of demo games. We've got our friends at Estevium Games are going to be down, running some various bits of activities, showing off all sorts of games and releases. We'll have some board games that link into wargaming, so things like Relic, probably get Spartacus out again. You know, things that people can associate with maybe some miniatures. They're not necessarily war games themselves, but they're a little bit more to do with war games than, say, Monopoly or something like that. So it's lots of good stuff there. We've also got Privateer Press. We've got press gangers down showing off Hordes and War Machine. We've got Mantic. Our friends at Mantic are going to be demoing some stuff. They may be showing off some of their Deadzone bits and pieces, which is currently on Kickstarter. By the time that the convention happens, though, Deadzone will have completed its Kickstarter, so it may be just a little bit about kind of how cool this was, but now you can't buy it. Or, they're going to wait and see. It might just be they'll do a little gallery of some bits and pieces, show off some of the models, and actually what they'll do is they'll demo some Dreadball or something like that.
That'd be cool to get a few games of Deadzone in as well, because by that stage, the game should effectively be there, so it'll be nice to see if we can play it.
What I'm conscious of, though, and what I don't want to happen, is the poor Mantic guys get a bit beleaguered, where they show off a game that you can't get in on the Kickstarter anymore because the Kickstarter will have completed,
and
but
it's
not
still
available
to buy either.
And it'd be quite a way off from being available to buy as I think it's November. They're talking about it coming out in retail.
Well, I'm glad you're concerned about that, because I don't care. I want to see it.
But for me, if I play something that's really cool, I want to be able to get it.
Yeah.
I want to be able to buy it. And what I don't want to do, I don't want to disappoint people by them being exposed to something really cool and then being really disappointed because they have to wait 6 months or whatever before they can even
get their hands on it.
Well, my apologies in advance if you're disappointed, but I don't care. I want to see it. Anyway. I can't wait.
Well, yeah, so they might have some of the terrain and some of the other bits and pieces to show off.
Yes.
We'll talk about that.
I will play it.
That's enough for the
We've got a paint competition.
Stuff. We have painting competition with some pretty spectacular prizes. The criteria, if you go into tabletopnation.com and scroll along to the events section, you'll be able to go through the criteria for the painting competition. I'm sure we'll probably, by the time this is up, there's probably going to be an article or something in the works for Beast of War anyway. We've got all sorts of YouTubers are coming down.
Yes, all the YouTube celebrities are going to be here. So that's Brian himself, Joey Berry, Nick from Worthy Painting. There's a whole pile of them all.
And they'll be doing,
upon us,
depending on what they might either just be walking around the place, playing games themselves, and doing a kind of a meet and greet. If their YouTube blog is some kind of if their YouTube blog is some kind of painting, some of them may be doing like painting demos and things, showing off what they can do, and having some live tips and techniques and things, which would be really great to see.
I'm going to try and get a panel going as well, because I want to interview them. I want to say, so dudes,
a whole mess of stuff in that regard, and that's on top of. We've got regional tournaments taking place as well over the from Fantasy Flight Games. We've got some of those taking place over the weekend. It's a weekend as well, so if you're not able to get down on the Saturday, you can do the Sunday. You can do both days if you're going to travel and you want to have a real proper weekend experience and make the most of your travelling time. If you can't get the Saturday off or you can't get the Sunday off, you can just do one day or the other. It's going to be immense. We've got, I would conservatively say we've got at least 200 people over the weekend. I reckon we're going to see
easy
at least.
Right, in terms of hotels, because I know some of you were asking about this, the hotel that we're recommending, and it's the hotel that we kind of partner with. We're building links with them, and that's the Holiday Inn at Southend International Airport. That's
Easiest
London Southend. The reason we've selected it is not quite the cheapest, but when you factor in the fact that it's at the airport and the train station is literally 2 minutes around the corner from it, it's the one that's easiest for links back and forth to here in Hockley. However, if you're mobile and you have your motorbike or your car with you, you could stay at either, there's two premier inns. There's one in Rayleigh and there's one in Southend Airport as well. It's just not as convenient. It's about 20 minutes walk from the airport. There'll be others. We're going to try and get a list up of other places. But basically, if you just go into bookings.com or whatever and you put in Hockley, or Rayleigh, and just do a search for guest houses and hotels around there, you'll find something. The reason we put the Holiday Inn out there is because it kind of ticks a lot of the boxes for gamers that are having to travel by public transport.
The extra you might be paying, if you then work it out to what you might be paying in cabs
taxis
or
yeah,
whatever else, it's probably worth doing.
Yeah.
The other thing about accommodation, it's a good rule anyway, the further in advance that you book it, the cheaper it is. So when you're watching this live, or watching this like today, on the Saturday, if you book it now, that ticket price will probably be cheaper than if you were to book it the weekend before the event.
The night before the event.
So go get your ticket, go to tabletopnation.com, and on there you see tickets, and get your free ticket, and then go and book your hotel, and we can't wait to see you.
Tons and tons. I mean, we've literally scratched the surface of what we're going to be doing.
We're going to be doing dedicated videos on this anyway now over the next week or so, building up to this just to show you what we've got planned.
Jim, who did our Feast of Games with us, and we've got another Feast of Games on the way at some stage. Jim is going to be doing, showing off some of the Heroscape, which is you can't really buy it anymore. But
we actually have a video on Beast of War for it at the minute. Games of the Day for International Tabletop Day, if anyone wants to have a look at it.
Yeah, but again, under the basically Jim and a friend of his, Barry, they're big fans of games which it's not that you could never have gotten them, but that maybe they're almost like games of either limited availability or that have gone out of publication or whatever. But usually,
games the world has forgotten.
Yeah, but usually, thanks to eBay and things like that, you can track them down. Heroscape's a cracking example. Monster Apocalypse as well. I believe they're going to be doing some of that on the day. So there's going to be loads and loads and loads of cool stuff. We might even try and get some role play in there as well. I think it's just any kind of, it's called Grumpy Old Wargamers, but to be honest, any fan of anything in that kind of neck of the woods, we're probably going to get a stand-up of Doctor Who on the day. Yeah, there'll just be loads of stuff. Whatever kind of cool, weird and wonderful stuff around wargaming, gaming, hobbying, sci-fi, fantasy, that kind of stuff, there'll be something here for you. It'll be really good fun.
Spot on. So go check it out, guys, and we hope to see you here over that weekend. I can't wait. Now, News.
Yes.
Let's talk about the news. There's some big news up.
One thing I think will excite you very much.
What's that?
What you were about to say, Dust Tactics is moving to Battlefront.
Yay! So Dust is moving house. Okay.
Yep.
So Dust previously, obviously the main people behind it are Dust Studios. Okay, and they do a magnificent job. It's a gorgeous looking game. The products are just fantastic. They all come semi pre-painted, but they just look great. Okay. They come kind of like base coated.
You got the kind of the confused. What's a semi pre-paint?
Yeah, a semi pre-paint is like a base coat. The reason I say semi pre-paint is I did an experiment with Dust. I got myself 2 walkers, okay, and they came with that base coat. And what I did was I just shoved a whole pile of blue tack all over it in various shapes, and then dusted it white. Okay, and I then used dustings of Model Mate's weathering sprays over it, and give it a bit of a wipe here and there, and it gave me the coolest effect.
Axis.
So it did.
Axis vehicles, were they?
Yeah, I did it to both. I did it both to Axis and I did it to the Allied vehicles, and it worked just as well.
You'll make Hitler cry.
Oh, not again!
It worked. It worked really well. So anyway, they're moving now to Battlefront. Now it remains to be seen what will happen here, but I'm quite comfortable with that. I think Battlefront is a good natural home for something like Dust Tactics because they implicitly understand war games. You know, I can see Dust Warfare becoming much bigger out of this, you know. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm not sure at this stage just how deep the relationship goes, but I'd imagine they're going to be working very closely together on this.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth mentioning. I mean, I think Fantasy Flight have done a cracking job with their work with the studio in the past. Whereas Fantasy Flight really do have a corner on a really high quality product. I mean, you look at the work they did with X-Wing, Dust as well. All the board games they produce, really, and the role play games, brilliant product. So I think that was one set of energies or whatever, one kind of thing that they were bringing. I think Battlefront, who also do some really nice things, particularly with like Gale Force 9 and things like that. But I agree with you. I think their pedigree of Second World War gaming, I just think is going to translate into some really exciting stuff.
As you guys will have no doubt have noticed by this stage, I'm in a new show called Flames of War for the Win. And I'm just going to pull you up on a couple of wee tiny things there.
Oh dear.
They have a pedigree of gaming. Because that system, I'm discovering, you could take out of Second World War.
Well, they have.
Well, yeah, but it's a great...
Vietnam War.
Yeah, it's a great... We talked about the quality of the Battlefront products. That Battlefront rulebook, the Flames of War rulebook, is stunningly good. Stunningly good. So, you know, like I said, I'm not sure how much input they're going to have on Dust Studio. The stuff for Dust is really high quality. I just would like to see Dust take off even more as a result of this. So.
Yeah, I'd like to see a 15mm set of models that are compatible with the Flames of War range, so you could actually do Dust with all the walkers and stuff alongside.
At a big, massive level.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking about a Flames of War Dust crossover.
Yeah.
Yeah, although,
At a different scale.
Flames of War rule set, but with some Dust, very specific Dust world, Dust setting units.
Well, I doubt that's going to happen, but who knows. Other things in the news is Weird have announced Malifaux 2.0. Justin, tell us about it.
Quite simply, they've had their first rulebook out. Everything's going really well. All starter factions are good. We have Nick doing some articles on the homepage every Wednesday, so people can get a feel for the faction if you're wanting to get into it.
Yeah.
And now they're moving to the 2.0 rule set.
Okay, so tell me about that.
I know nothing about it.
Hey!
All I know is it's coming.
I love the fact that he asked you a question. You seamlessly went into a thing, which I'm thinking,
That has nothing to do.
Started
Slightly
well.
off topic.
They're not really touching, and then really the only thing relevant to 2.0 was that they did, and now they're doing 2.0, and I'm like, well, I got that from Warren's question.
Yeah, I know. I apologise. I know nothing exactly about it yet.
Apologise for it.
No, you don't need to apologise for it because, to be honest, the announcement is not much more than that.
No.
Yeah.
The fact is that 2.0 is on its way. You will have noticed that Malifaux coverage is now starting to roll out on BC4. We have shows and stuff like that are in the planning. We are talking with Weird at the moment, so we will see what we can bring you on that.
Yeah, I've got a couple of little extra bits. So at the moment, Malifaux's on 1.5, the rules. Which reminds me back of the day of D&D 3.5. You've got 1.5 where they are at the moment. That is still going to be the agreed, accepted rule set for Malifaux for the remainder of this year, pretty much. 2.0 is going to be right towards kind of end of this year, first quarter next year.
Yeah.
But they're giving obviously loads of run up to it, loads of prep work. I'm talking about the official events and tournaments and things. Probably the final event in the UK that will use official event, sanctioned event, that will use the current Malifaux rule set 1.5 will be the Grand Tournament, the Malifaux Grand Tournament, which will be at Tabletop Nation towards the end of this year.
Cool, Malifaux GT.
Yeah, the Malifaux GT.
Cool. Nice.
Heard it here first. But that will probably be one of the last gasps, if not the last event with that rule set.
Well, the Mighty Nick has Malifaux Factions Episode 3 up on the site. It's a good article. Justin will get a link to it up in here. So.
Episode 4 is scheduled for next Wednesday. I believe that's going to be the Outcast faction coming this time.
Cool. BioWare have some news. I'm not sure how official this is.
Hasn't been announced by BioWare.
Yeah,
This was a leak from a reliable source.
It's official. A leak, a leak about something Games Workshop. I don't believe you.
I think I just said the magic words.
So BioWare are apparently picking up the licenses for some of the 40k kind of franchises.
Space Marine and Dark Millennium, if I remember right.
Yes. Now, Dark Millennium is the MMO that never was. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah, it's the one that died in its infancy.
And it will never be. Whatever they bring it back as, by the sound of
It'll never be an MMO.
It won't, yeah.
Not a chance.
I'm thinking third person. I'll be honest, I'm thinking something along the lines of Space Marine.
Yeah.
But
more like Mass Effect?
Yeah, a little bit wider, a little bit, yeah.
So it's, obviously there was a big cliffhanger at the end of Space Marine.
Yeah.
So I imagine everybody's looking forward to a sequel on that. Me personally, I have very simple tastes. I just want a big-ass desert, me with an assault cannon, unlimited rounds, and just start chucking a billion nids at me. I could sit there all night just going... I think it'd be great. Okay, there's not a lot of plot, technique, or any of that good gaming stuff involved, but it is great.
You're kind of harking back to the old days of Duke Nukem 3D where you could just turn on God mode and have a laugh.
Yeah.
Now that was classic gaming.
Yes. A billion nids and me with unlimited rounds. That stuff just doesn't get old. I love it. Yeah. I was playing recently a Gears of War demo. I say I was playing it until the point I discovered an autocannon with unlimited rounds. And then my entire gameplay always became spawn, run to that, and start shooting. Spawn, run to that, and start shooting. I became autocannon man.
So in other words, he's that incredibly annoying gamer that used to just always do the exact same thing every round.
Yes. And I died in exactly the same way every time.
Hate people like you in online games.
See, I used to play a lot of Unreal Tournament with Gav, who's been on here before. And Gav is a big fan of it. There was a mode in Unreal Tournament called Instagib, where basically you had your shock rifle, and whereas the shock rifle would fire like a single blast, like beam, lance of energy, and it would damage you, but the Instagib rifle, which was like a special mod that you could put on the game, one hit, you died, yeah? Graze your arm, you're dead. You just exploded every time you got hit by it. So you'd have people running around with all the Instagib, so we all had these rifles, and Gav is the expert at the kind of the elevated position, waiting. Crack dead.
Camper, die!
That was his, that was his his modus operandi. He loved doing that.
Battlefield.
Yeah.
I used to do that in Battlefield. There were two big towers, and you used to be able to get right up the back of one. And I'm always looking for places where it's really difficult to get to, because there were times where you could set off an explosion and blow yourself up onto stuff in Halo and stuff, which was rather cool. But one of my favourites, so long ago now, was Delta Force on the PC.
Cool, yeah.
Because in Delta Force, you were able to grab a sniper rifle. You all started out in towns, and the thing about Delta Force is it was terrifying because people were knifing you in Delta Force. They were coming stabbing you in the neck. So as soon as you'd spawn, I ran for the hills, and I ran, and I ran, and I ran. And in game terms, I must have went about 1 kilometre. And I'd stand in the hills with a super scope and just pick people off in the town the entire time, and then roll to a new spot so that they couldn't.
Surely Delta Force, Chuck Norris would just be there for the win. I don't understand.
Oh, yes.
I don't understand why there'd be any competition. It'd be like Chuck Norris has logged on, everyone just logs out.
Anyway, if all this talk of video game is getting your juices going, it's getting my juices going. If you're a backstager, stay tuned for XLBS, because if you're a backstager on an Xbox Live player, we might have some fun, actually. So we're going to talk about meeting up on Xbox Live and getting some gaming going, which should be great.
Bomberman. We should all play Bomberman together.
Oh,
great game.
That is nuts.
I'm sorry, I just remember the old days of CSS.
What, cascading style sheets?
No.
Counter-Strike
Source.
I had a problem with that with the website.
Oh,
once.
yeah.
No, Counter-Strike Source used to be the old favourite for me on that.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get some gaming in, so if you're a backstager, watch XLBS. We're going to have some fun with that. Next up, we have Deadzone. Now, we've touched on it a little bit.
It's not Deadzone, it's Deadzone.
Sorry, Deadzone. I'm dread on the head at the moment.
Yeah. Well,
so Deadzone is taking Kickstarter by storm.
It is.
Yep.
The playmat, which looks awesome, it's kind of like a mouse mat, only really, 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 really big.
Yeah.
Do we think bigger than Dreadball it will finish on?
Oh.
Yes.
I think so too.
Yes. I think it's going to be. I think it's potentially going to be way bigger than Dreadball.
Well, Dreadball finished on 730k
or something or 750k.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like Mantic have really proved their pedigree on Kickstarter now to make good stuff whenever they do it.
Yeah. I'll be honest. And I speak as I find. We're mouthpieces for no one. I think Mantic are very good at running a Kickstarter. I think their Kickstarter success says as much about their style and the quality of how they run a Kickstarter as it does about their product.
Yeah.
Because you do see some Kickstarters who will have a really great product, but because the Kickstarter's not particularly well structured or well thought out, it dies. You have others where it's incredible promise with what they've got, but again the Kickstarter doesn't translate it. I think Mantic do it really well, where they have the initial offering, which isn't bad. But then the stretch goals start coming on, and the add-ons and more, and it just becomes unbelievable.
Well,
really
always
good
is
value.
the stretch goals. It's just dragging more and more people in.
Well, it is. Kickstarter is entertainment.
Really good.
It is entertainment, and some 1,000 and something odd backers got in just bang at the start, and you know they're not getting in for what it's there at that moment.
That's exactly
They're getting in because they now have the expectation, which Mantic will deliver.
Of course they will.
They have the expectation of what's to come.
But at the same time,
they've picked up early bird specials and things.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
And it's a good tactic to have, because remember, you can always drop out of a Kickstarter. So a lot of these people will be going into early birds, and if it's not what they wanted, which is going to be like impossible, they could always drop out. So smart thinking on behalf of those guys.
I mean, I said, and I think it is credit where credit. I mean, I have read a couple of people have posted unkindly elsewhere. They said, "Oh, Mantic, they're saving their best till last," as though it's like some kind of negative thing. I see that as a positive. I think I see it as a, they've proven with Dreadball that they can put together a really quality Kickstarter, and they are. I mean, now we've got the Wave 2 stuff coming out. They're delivering what they promised.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's some people are saying, "Well, where's the pledge just for the terrain on its own?" No, that's what I'm after. I'm fairly confident there will be something along those lines, or some kind of bundle or something.
Yeah, or an add-on section.
Yeah, exactly.
Will appear like this.
Yeah, exactly that. No, all credit to Mantic. Very well played. Well done, Ronnie.
Kickstarter aside, let's talk a little bit about the game. So I got a chance to chat with Jake Thornton at Salute. I'll tell you what, let's pull a clip of what he had to say. What I want to talk to you about is Deadzone.
Deadzone.
Right, let's move on over here. So we have Deadzone. Sorry, European champion. So we have Deadzone. Tell me a bit about that.
Deadzone. Deadzone's a new science fiction skirmish game. We're going to start Kickstarter for this in a few days, next Friday, which is the 26th.
Okay.
1:30 Blighty time.
Be ready.
Be ready. It's a science fiction skirmish game. You've got a board. It's like a skirmish game on a board game. Hello. It's hard to describe because it's a hybrid of all the best bits of board gaming mechanics and all the best bits of skirmish gaming mechanics.
Yeah.
And by best I mean most fast and fun.
Are you telling me you've created the perfect game, Jake Thornton?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's all you had to say. Right, that's the interview over. Okay.
What I've done is that people who've played my other games know that what I like games that have got lots of tactical challenge, but which play very quickly and have very simple rules, so you can pick them up quite easily, and you don't have to worry about what the rules say you can do, and reading, going back through the rule books every 5 minutes.
You can play the game without being encumbered by the rules.
What he said.
Yeah.
So what I've done is I've taken, when I say looking at the best bits of board games, the best bit of skirmish games.
Yeah.
Some bits of each. If you use all of board games, then you end up with very complicated rules and certain things when you really want to be using skirmish games, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So by making this a slightly odd hybrid, we've got very quick movement, simple line of sight, all that kind of stuff. Because line of sight in Dwarf King's Hold and Project Pandora is dead simple because it's only 2D. And Deadzone has got a load of plastic scenery in it to build these great 3Ds. I mean, we've got some examples over here. This is our Resin Masters. So the final version will be plastic, hard plastic stuff on sprues, so you can put it together far more variable than this. I think when you're building it, you'll have more little buildings, not so many big ones.
Yeah.
But what we've got here is, shows you the kinds of things you can look at. So they're 3-inch square sections, and they come with windows and doors, and we're looking at ways of getting the smashed glass, which looks quite cool, and doing that as a plastic component you can get for the set. And because we've got this 3D-ness, you can't use a normal board game line of sight.
No.
Because it's trigonometry, and it's not very interesting, and it's definitely not very quick.
Yeah.
And I just get bored working out how to do it halfway through. So we've got a kind of partly skirmish game line of sight, partly board game movement, using the core dice mechanic from Dreadball, because everyone knows that. It's dead simple and very quick. 3 dice, roll 5s, nice and simple. So I pulled loads of bits together that say, how do we get that to be fast? How do we get this to be slick and efficient? And to play a game in an hour and a quarter, something like that, rather than 2, 3, 4 hours. Yeah. So it's great cracking.
We're going to find out more Friday then. Next Friday.
More Friday coming, yeah. Next Friday. That's
Ooh.
when this goes live. It's going live.
Whenever Justin gets it out.
Excellent.
So, probably after the Kickstarter. All right, Jake, thank you for that, buddy.
Yep.
There you have it, Deadzone. It's on its way. It's looking hot, hot, hot. So that's what Jake had to say about the whole thing. So he's going for this, he's going for the perfect board game. It's a combination of skirmish game and board game. So I can't wait to see how it plays. No. I really like, actually, this, he talked about the 3 dice Dreadball mechanic. Next week, the first of my Dreadball shows, called the Dreadball Academy.
Should be Monday.
Yes.
It goes out.
So maybe not Monday.
Bank holiday Monday.
Yeah, it's a bank holiday Monday. So
when does that ever stop you making me work?
Yeah, but you'll be putting something else out. Well, maybe go out on Monday anyway.
They're not bank holidays in Ireland, surely. Surely it's a different banking system.
Holiday? What is this mysterious word you speak of?
Sometime next week it'll be out.
Yeah.
It's great fun. I've really, really been enjoying Dreadball, and there's such a simple mechanic in it that the game doesn't get in the way of itself to have fun. Yeah. It's fun because you're playing the game, you're not playing the mechanics.
Yes, but even though you're not playing the mechanics are good enough to tell you a story of what's happening.
Yes. Whenever you talk about your game, you're not doing it in Arnold Rimmer style. You're not talking about
I rolled
numbers,
3 6s
Math Hammer. Now the interesting thing is, it's not, is
Interesting to you. Yeah.
It's interesting to me, yeah.
Interesting to me too.
The first episode is an hour and a half long.
Yeah, I've been working my nuts off on that. I swear, my eyes, I thought they were going to drop out my head.
But the question is, in that hour and a half, we're introducing you to the game, so by the end of it, you should pretty much know how to play. Now, you've watched it.
I've been working my way through it.
Yeah.
I'm not finished yet. I think I have about another 20 minutes of raw footage to work through, but I was able to go down there a couple of nights ago into the gaming hall and just sit down and play a game with the team I picked up at Salute.
Just based on what you'd seen in the video
Based
so
on what
far.
I've seen.
Perfect. That's great. That means that the video's idiot-proof.
Thanks. Jackass.
Which is what we set out to do. I'm joined by the magnificent James M. Hewitt, who was one of the co-creators of the game. And we just have so much fun with it. We just have so much fun.
He's a nice guy, James.
I love James. James is
a good laugh.
Is my man. I've made 2 more really good buddies in this last couple of weeks. James M. Hewitt and me we're like that. And the incredible, the eccentric.
Oh dear, I know who this is.
David, sorry. The incredible, the eccentric David.
David Shoulder.
David Shoulder. David's my Doctor Who. I am now.
No, he is your Donna.
No, he's my Doctor Who. I've decided David in Flames of War for the win is Doctor Who. He's just Doctor Who without the sonic toothbrush.
Screwdriver.
Oh, the screwdriver even.
Man, you need to...
Well, sonic toothbrush, sonic screwdriver, it's all the same thing.
Hang on. Toothbrush, first in the actual video itself, you get one other thing wrong that I had to bring up a nerd alert about.
What?
You'll see it in the video.
What's that?
I'm not telling them, they'll see it in the video. They'll have to watch it and see.
I don't get anything wrong. It's just my opinion.
Okay.
Opinion cannot be wrong.
Fair
And if
Yes,
I decide that the meaning of life is 43 and not 42 because I think 43 is one better, I'm not wrong. Is that what you were talking about?
I'm afraid you are wrong, because Deep Thought was right.
Pants. Anyway, where the hell were we? We were talking about Deadzone.
Yes.
Yep.
So it's a game. The models actually are looking really, really good. There's a big guy. We'll get a picture of him up.
Which one is this? The corporation?
Yeah,
or
big corporation guy.
Yeah, and then there's the other big guy.
I'm just going to come out and say, there's a big dude. He looks like he's wearing some kind of cool Terminator armor.
Oh, the guy with the cigar. Like the commander, is that the one you mean?
Has he got a cigar?
I'm not sure. I'll try and get an image, guys.
I think
if I can.
I think he has a cigar. If he's the officer and he's
And he's got this cool
walking
kind of
forward. Yeah, he's
walking
basically-
fortress
he's,
type thing. He's just so cool.
Like I said, we'll see if we can get an image.
Yeah.
See, the Rebs are the ones that really interest me, which is
the
all
Rebs are only a concept art stage at this minute, though.
But you know what they're going to be because they're the dispossessed races. They're the races that aren't powerful enough to stand up to the corporation in their own right. So they band together into little ragtag mobs.
Yeah, so
a bit like the Rebel Alliance, and they try and take on or grab. So you can have a.
you can actually have your orcs with your Forge Fathers and the Rebs as well.
Yeah.
If I remember.
Well,
what Ronnie said.
the Marauders and the Forge Fathers are big enough as empires to have their own thing going on. But the Rebs, I would imagine, you can have the odd one or two of them.
If I remember, Ronnie talked about it in an interview ages ago whenever he was chatting to you, and apparently you can, if I remember correctly.
But you can also have the...
He may have, yeah.
You can have the Teratons. What are the... Turtle.
Oh, yeah.
So they're in the Rebs. So it's all the minor races in the Warpath setting, all band together in this little
rebellion.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really cool. And even the concept art has got a bunch of human-y type rebels, and then some big alien sucker with a big rotary cannon, looking like he's about to.
I wonder will there
rip
be
through something.
spaceships that have wings shaped like an X?
Possibly. Possibly.
I think that would be lawsuit territory, but okay.
Speaking of which, are we done with?
We're not done just yet. We're going to do a giveaway.
Yes, we actually...
Would you like to spend the weekend with Justin?
Not the weekend, just the Saturday.
Saturday's on a weekend, dude.
It's not the weekend. It's part of the weekend.
Cut. Would you like to spend part of your weekend with Justin? Does that better? Does that work?
No, I'm not cutting this. I'm having a giggle at this right now, and so is everyone else for you getting it wrong.
But did it work?
No, it didn't work. Basically, guys, what's happening is on the 11th of this month, Mantic is having an open day up in Nottingham. Myself and Stu from the Gaming Hall are heading up to do a bit of filming on the day, and we've got 2 tickets to give
The
away.
I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, sorry, Scott. Sorry, I keep getting the two of them mixed up. And thanks for the first beep of the episode.
Yeah, what the There you go.
all right.
Have a second one for free.
And can I just say, Saturdays
Yeah.
are part of the weekend, correct?
Yes, they're part of the weekend, yeah.
So I'm not wrong. No, continue.
Eventually, this is just going to be Morse code, guys.
Okay, continue.
All right, anyway. Myself and Scott from the Game & Holler heading up. We're going to be doing a few videos while we're there. We have 2 tickets to give away. Why are you looking at...
Look at the camera.
This is creeping me out.
You're telling them, not me.
All right, fine. Right, we have 2 tickets to give away. So, what you have to do to win, behave, is post below...
Fuck.
Get away. Right, what you have to do is post below with 3 things. Number 1, the best weapon for the zombie apocalypse. Number 2, the worst. And number 3, the dumbest. Or the funniest. We have 2 to give away. So, whenever you're posting below, either ask for 1 or ask for 2.
Okay.
So, hopefully from that garbled mess of him having fun, you've got the idea of the competition.
And what do they win?
They win either 1 or 2 tickets, depending on what they ask for, to the Mantic Open day. Okay? So,
With you.
yes, with myself. What's going to be going on there is...
Are you buying them lunch?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's not very nice.
But anyway, what's going to be going on at the open day is A, Deadzone is going to be running on its Alpha Rule set.
Are you even going to speak to them? Will you say hello?
Of
Will you
course.
acknowledge that they're there?
Will you acknowledge
Of course.
the winners? Yes.
I'm not an asshole. You're an asshole. I'm not.
Are you meeting them at the gate?
Their name will be at the door.
With
Okay.
Who's got it?
Whoever's taking the tickets at the door will have their name.
Is it James? Is James taking the tickets? Do we know?
I don't know who's taking the ticket.
I've got no
Stop
idea.
playing with
no
me.
idea.
My tiny brain is going to melt.
Okay, so you're not buying them lunch, but you will try to be nice to them, yes?
Of course. We're always
Okay.
nice when we meet people out and about.
All right, okay.
Right, so, what's going on the day? Deadzone is going to be running through its Alpha Rule test, or Alpha Rule set. You're going to have games of Dreadball on the go. You're also going to have a participation game of Kings of War. Apparently that's going to be a big, massive game. And my favourite thing for the entire event, they're having a zombie airsoft LARP event. So, they've set themselves up.
That sounds awesome.
They've set themselves up in an abandoned medical centre. They've closed off half of it. And in the half that's closed off, they're going to have the LARP event.
And which half are you going to be in
Both, hopefully.
at the same time?
No.
All right.
I'm not that. I'm good, but I'm not magic.
Okay, so they have a medical centre.
Abandoned medical centre.
They've cut it in half.
No, they've cordoned half of it off.
Okay, and they have zombies on one side and heroes on the other.
No, they have their event on one side and a zombie airsoft LARP in the other.
All right.
Is it
Got
just
it?
zombies shooting each other? That's going to take ages.
Yeah. With the only
I hate
headshots
these two
count.
guys. You know, I'm trying to make this sound like a nice, cool event where you're going to have fun, and they're doing nothing but making it confused.
No, it sounds really, really cool. I just don't... Do Mantic know that this is happening?
Eventually.
Genuine idiot.
So speaking of events,
I was just going to say, just for one last bit on clarity,
yeah,
Right.
I take it in the bottom of this,
Yes, the full details
the full
in the
details will be
bottom,
below.
in the post.
So actually, you know what? Ignore the last 25 minutes of chat
Of garbled
and
gibbering.
just read the bit at the bottom.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get somebody else to write it, will we? Or
Right, the only reason I got confused is because he started asking questions, then asking the same question over and over again.
Yeah, I blame
Instead of asking the correct question correctly,
Yeah.
where I could understand it. Whenever you
that's-
saw that I didn't understand it.
Though it is 4 things, not 3. But yeah.
yeah, it's the definition of insanity. Do ask the same thing over and over again, and expect a different response, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I'm not sure which one of us is talking about events.
Yes, events. Right, so we've got lots of stuff going on. Briefly, really, really cool. We've got a couple of campaign weekends to talk about. If you've never been to a campaign weekend before, I go on about more time on the weekend. I love campaign weekends, narrative stuff. Whether it's, well, wherever you get to do it. If you get to do it in your local club, here at Tabletop Nation, wherever you go, narrative events, campaigns are brilliant. I'm a big believer that your toy soldiers and things they're not actually buying the metal models or the plastic models. What you're buying is what they represent. So that there's Space Marines, they're your chapter, or they're your your Legion of Starship Troopers, or whatever it is that you're buying, your Goblin Hordes or what have you. You've got your own little backstories and things. Narrative weekends are your way of being able to kind of add to your storyline. And I've seen people make, when particularly people get killed, they do like little grave markers and things, or they got loads of cool stuff. Yeah, it's your stuff, have fun. So there's two really good ones coming up, which I'm sure Justin will buzz the details down the bottom. Yep. First one is the Tyrannic War, which is here at Tabletop Nation, and it's set in Warhammer 40,000, and it's during the Second Tyrannic War. So High Fleet Kraken is descending on the Imperium, ripping it to pieces. The craft world of Iandon, for all of those who like the yellow and blue Eldar, is lying in the path of this giant big Maw tentacle monster thing, which is starting to invade them and rip them to pieces. Only a concerted effort with allies putting aside their differences, the Imperium and the Eldar working together, can they possibly overcome it. In the meantime, in the background, the forces of chaos, in the confusion and anarchy, are trying to take worlds and do their pillaging. The Dark Eldar are capturing slaves. The Orcs are on their normal rampage and raid. So there's plenty of stuff for everybody. Even the Tau, with their brand new battle suits and things, are getting on the act as well on the Eastern Fringe. It's going to be a really, really good weekend. So get yourself involved. You don't need a stupid number of points. You can have either it's 1,000 points, 2,000 points. Then if you're feeling particularly adventurous, you can go to 3,000 points and start getting your big Gribbly Forge World stuff. So that's really cool. So that's Tyrannic War. Lots of Tyranids. Bring heavy bolters and flamers. That's my tip. And then the other one I want to talk to you about is Wars for Armageddon.
Yes.
Which are some great guys called The Good, the Bad, the Bromley.
I had met these people at Salute. They are a great bunch of guys. This is the first opportunity we've had to talk about this. Tell me about it. It
is, in essence, so the planet of Armageddon, for those, again, this is Warhammer 40,000. Planet of Armageddon it's not had a lot of luck. It's a really important Imperial world in terms of production and manufacturing of things like chimeras and supplying the Imperial Guard and so on. It's a hive world, industrial world.
Is there a reason it's called Armageddon?
It's the name of the planet. It just so happens to be...
it's a pretty unfortunate name for a planet, isn't it?
But then having said that, you've got Golgotha out there. You've got... The Imperium has got some pretty sucky names for planets.
Some good ones as well. You've still got Valhalla.
Yeah, but again, Valhalla, what came first? The fact that it was a giant frozen ball of ice, or the fact, that happened to be called Valhalla, or, Yeah, exactly. So... Armageddon, really important world for the Imperium. Without it, the Imperium, all the resources for the Imperium would dry up in that area, so it's of real strategic value. Unfortunately, twice in its history, it's fallen to the predations of the Orcs, led by Ghazghkull Thraka.
Ooh.
He's famous, it's the world he's famous for. It's also the world that's famous for the heroism of the Black Templars, the Blood Angels, the Salamanders. These are real... the Steel Legion, the Armageddon Steel Legion, the Imperial Guard from that world. Real majorly important forces. Commissar Yarrick, he's from Armageddon. So, really important world, important to the history of Warhammer 40,000. So what's happening is Narrative Weekend, which will be trying to tell part of that story. And so you can come along with your Orcs, or your Imperials, or whatever it is that you want to bring. There's
your Orcs.
Orcs, I think. If I was picking between them, Orcs would be the way I would go. I think there's some pretty tasty things you can get going with the Orcs. So you come along and you just basically get to smash some humans.
Oomies.
Punch them in the face, steal their teeth. Very small teeth though, so not worth a lot. But so that's the idea. You're going to get to play over a series of games over 2 days. There's tickets are on sale on the Tabletop Nation website. Jump on there. Looks like a really great event. What I'm liking about it, same with the Tyrannic War, is because you've got people in the community who've got a lot of passion and enthusiasm for it. What with Narrative Weekends, because it's your weekend and you get to do some stuff that you wouldn't do in like a tournament or something, you have a bit of fun with the rules.
Yeah.
So the Wars for Armageddon, there's extra rules for things like squats, for things like Weird and Wonderful Orc bits and pieces. They've got loads of extra rules for stuff that you can incorporate. Tyrannic War's the same. They've got rules for Gene Stealer covens, so you've got your limousines and things like that running around with Gene Stealers in the back. There's both narrative weekends, loads of weird and wonderful stuff. I really recommend you get going. The Tyrannic War obviously is only in a couple of weeks' time, so if you were planning on going to that, grab your ticket now. Wars for Armageddon's a little bit later on. You know, you've still got a little bit of time to get your ticket, but again, because it's a narrative, because it's a story, to try and keep the balance of how the story is going to unfold, there has to be a certain number of tickets. You can't. It's not like a tournament. You can just turn up with whatever you want. So really, tickets are selling fast. If you want to go, I'd grab your ticket today or tomorrow. You know, just really get hold of those tickets. So really great. Really enjoying those. So that's narrative events. A couple of other quick things to talk about. At the moment, in the hall, we have two really great events going on. You'll talk Flames of War. We have Battlefront have got their mid-war Flames of War tournament. It's happening right now downstairs in the gaming hall, which is excellent. Not so great if you're French, if you're fielding a French force, but pretty much anything else, mid-war, loads of fun. So you've got your Russians, you've got your Germans, you've got your allies. Really good, you know, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that turns out. There's quite a few widely styled armies downstairs, so I'm be interested seeing all the different play styles and seeing who comes to the top of the pile. So I've not seen a mid-war tournament before. I've seen late war stuff, but I've not seen mid-war, so I'm looking forward to seeing how this one turns out. So we've got that going on at the moment, and obviously there'll be more Flames of War tournaments and things here at Tabletop Nation. The other one though, which I'm really enjoying, is obviously it's May the 4th.
May the 4th be with you.
Always, indeed. It's so we have Star Wars Day today. There's two things. We're doing a little bit of a kind of a connection with in America. They're doing a Star Wars Experience Day. Fantasy Flight are doing that, and they're revealing. They haven't done it as of yet, but they're going to be revealing the next 4 ships that are going to be in the X-Wing expansion. So obviously, as soon as that gets revealed, we're then able to reveal that to the guys.
Will we have a guess?
If I had,
B-Wing, gotta be a B-Wing in there.
I think there's going to be same as the last, because the last release was 2 big ships and 2 standard ships. Okay, so standard size ships, ones that come in the blisters. Last time was the A-Wing and the TIE Interceptor, and then the big ships were the Millennium Falcon
and Slave One.
And Slave One. This time around, I think the big ships, so that the larger ones, need to be, I would think, because we've got a very limited number of models now, or ships that were from the original trilogy. So I'm thinking it has to be the Lambda class shuttle, the Imperial shuttle from Return of the Jedi, and then kind of
be cool,
retroactively added into previous films. But I think that needs to be a big kit, or a big model. And then the B-Wing, if it's proper scale, the B-Wing, the canopy of the B-Wing, the cockpit piece, the bit that spins around, is it's a little bit smaller than an A-Wing, and that's just a cockpit, let alone the giant blade bit that sticks out. B-Wings are huge, so I would like to see the B-Wing in as the other big kit.
Because everything in X-Wing's to scale.
More or less, yes. Pretty much, yeah.
Because they made quite a big deal of that in the rulebook. Because I was looking through the rules recently, because X-Wing, I just adore it as a game. It's brilliant. But in the rulebook, they were talking about how they had worked with LucasArts, or one of the Lucas companies at the time, specifically on scale as well. So,
so you got that.
I can't really think of any other big ships that it could be, because the Star Destroyers and even the Corvettes and stuff are just like are too big.
I suppose all the big battleships.
Too big.
Do you think they'll actually do them eventually? Maybe?
No, because a Star Destroyer, like, even if you take an X-Wing, which is this size, a Star Destroyer would still be the size of this studio.
And even if
you were doing it to scale,
and even if you think about how ships move in, that's one of my issues I've got with the TAC Wing, which is the Star Trek. They've taken the X-Wing rule set, but they've used it for Star Trek ships.
Yes.
Ships in Star Trek don't move like fighters in Star Wars.
No, they don't.
And even the capital ships in Star Wars very slowly kind of drift past each other, exchanging barrages, a bit like the old galleons and things. They'd crossing the T and all that kind of nonsense, hitting each other with broadsides. And it's the fighters are all dancing around in the space between them, and it's the space between them is really what X-Wing shows you.
Yes,
it's the small stuff nipping about, and so
it's dogfights.
Yeah, you can't get
big carrier class.
You
stuff
can't get much bigger.
Doesn't really
without because they don't move very much. You could have one edge of the board maybe being the edge of like Mon Calamari Star Cruiser or something like that. Home one, nerd alert. But you're not going to have them on the table unless you were to like zoom out and have just massive ships very slowly, and that would be more like Firestorm Armada or something like that, in the kind of slow, graceful turns rather than the split S's and spinning off and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I digress.
Small ships, what do you think?
Well, I'm thinking TIE Bomber, has to be the TIE Bomber.
Yeah.
Because it would be the equivalent of the Y-Wing in terms of, for the Imperials.
What does the TIE Bomber look like again?
It's got the long panels like the TIE Advanced that Darth Vader had in the first wave.
But they're straight.
No. No. They're the angled panels.
Yes, but I mean, they don't have the pointy ends.
Darth Vader's didn't either. That's the TIE Interceptor you're thinking
Interceptor,
of.
right? Okay.
No, so they've got the long, flat angled panels. Then in the centre,
it has the two.
It's got two. It's got two.
Yes,
one of them is the
yes.
TIE Fighter body. Well, it's not. It's a long tube body. But the one next to it is the proton torpedo launch. It's the torpedo. It's the bomb unit basically. Is on the other side. So that'd be kind of good.
And for the Alliance,
pass.
Yeah, I'm
Z95. Some people have said, which is not in the original trilogy. It isn't in the series.
Yeah,
but it's been. You're starting to go into the expanded universe
canon
type
stuff.
Well, beyond the. They could go really left of field. There's two left of field ones they could do, and I suspect they won't do either because they're both worthy of their own. They could do like a Naboo starfighter or something, in which case you then start to go into prequel territory. Yeah. I suspect they won't do that.
You also can't do the old Snowspeeder.
Well, see, Snowspeeder would be the other one I'm thinking,
but they were
more of a
it doesn't go into space.
Yeah, it doesn't go into space.
But the style of it would be for ground-based, so you could start to have, because you could have ATSTs, and there is stuff. Yeah, you could change it.
There was the transport.
Yeah, Gallifrey class transport, which is the big cigar thing.
The big cigar
that I had
thing,
as a kid, where you could open up, split in half, you put all your figures inside.
But that'd be quite big as well.
That would be big. It's bigger than the Millennium Falcon.
Whenever they went to visit Lando Calrissian at the two pilots.
Yeah, the cloud car.
Yeah.
Again, doesn't get very far away from Bespin.
It's like taking a mini to Stalingrad, really, isn't it?
It's. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, you could have the little Ewok glider, I suppose you could do. But again, not a lot of.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. I'm probably. Do you know what? I'm going to dig out the Star Wars movies and have a look through them as well.
But
because
so we got that. So that's all looking really good. So it's Star Wars Day. So downstairs we have an X-Wing regional tournament, regional championship. Really looking forward to seeing how that one plays out. And we also have, later on this evening, we have the Star Wars Living Card Game regional tournament.
Yeah.
And again, that's one where that's already in expansions now. So that they've now started to do Empire, because the original card set really covered A New Hope, the first film. The expansions are now going element by element. They're going through the Empire Strikes Back. So they've done Hoth, and they're now making their way through Luke on Dagobah and that kind of thing, and the search for Luke Skywalker and that kind of. So it's kind of cool. Be interesting to see how that one pans out. But yeah, so Star Wars Day. We're going to do a quiz as well later on today. Looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a really good day.
Excellent. Let's give some stuff away, will we?
Well, there is one little thing before that. We have a call to action.
Oh, go for it.
Because we have the High Elves.
Of course, yes.
The Army book is coming out soon, and same as last time, we want to get one of you guys from Beasts of War to get in touch with us, if you know the Army.
If you're a High Elf player and you fancy getting involved in High Elf coverage, get in touch.
Did the High Elf book not come out today? Or does it come out next week?
I'm not 100% sure.
I think it's next week. I think it's next week.
Yeah. Well.
I can't remember actually.
It could possibly be
it shows how much attention I was paying. But anyway, if you want to get involved in the High Elf coverage, respond to us. What's the best way to get in touch? PM yourself or me? Or
PM one of the two of us. I'll bring up both our usernames on screen and just get in touch.
Because it worked really well for Tau, because we did the same call out for Tau.
Yep.
And Jack. From the site,
did a stellar job on it.
Really good,
fantastic. I loved the Tau coverage.
I think the Tau coverage is some of the best stuff you guys have produced for Army breakdowns.
So really it was good. We obviously have Mike, the stellar, amazing fantasy Mike, who will be sitting on the High Elf stuff. So you're not expected to do it on your own, but we would like to get some other input from other viewers and stuff. So
might even try and beat up Andy, Andy did a couple of Battlefield autopsies and an unboxing for us ages ago.
Oh, yeah.
He's a huge High Elf fan.
Is he really?
You give him pointy ears and address, mate, and he's all over the show.
So you could be one of 3 of the High Elf team that are going to dissect the whole High Elf thing that is flying birds, loads of flying birds.
Don't all birds fly? Except penguins and ostriches.
Yeah, so flying birds, I was right. Let's give something away.
All right, well,
let's give some stuff away.
This is one we actually missed giving out on the last weekender because it didn't happen. It's 5 of the first 50 ever Dark Legionaries for Mutant Chronicles.
Cool. Cool.
You'll
No,
remember
the Mutant Chronicles stuff did really well on Kickstarter. And
Yeah.
it's looking like it's going to be pretty big.
I feel like I'm in the 90s again. It's great.
It's like the golden age, isn't it? We're going back.
Yeah.
Right. Who won it?
Easy Company from beastsofwar.com. So, get in touch. Go to the top bar on beastsofwar.com, come to the drop down, go to the prize claim form and send one in. Because we've had 1 or 2 people recently who haven't actually claimed their prize. So
the bar
people need
there?
to go back and maybe have
bar
a
there?
It's up there.
It's that way. Well,
it's there.
Yeah.
yeah, it's right there. It's just a wee drop down.
Yeah, I can see it. It's up there.
Can I get it?
No, you can't reach out to the screen. You're not breaking the 4th wall.
So, Easy Company, congratulations, mate. You are now the proud owner of 5 of the first 50 ever Dark Legionnaires for Mutant Chronicles.
That is pretty cool.
So, next up, what are we going to do? Let's talk Salute.
We have our Salute winner.
So, Salute was fantastic. If you haven't watched the Salute, the Ultimate Guides to Salute Part 1, 2, and 3, shame on you, because they are fantastic. Justin, I will say publicly, you did a stellar job on those. Go check them out. At the start of each video, there's like a little interactive menu.
Yeah, I built a DVD menu into it.
That'll jump you to different parts of the actual coverage. So if there's particular companies you're interested in. We've easily covered 50 companies in it though, haven't we?
Let's see, 17, 15, 17 we covered in each.
Many companies.
Yeah.
Many companies.
49 then.
Yeah, close.
There you go.
Close. So
But the cigar.
go and check them out. On the day, we ran a scavenger hunt.
We did, which was a good laugh.
It was fantastic.
It was a good laugh.
I loved it. People were coming up and getting photographs with us. They were video bombing
Left,
the shows.
right, centre, up, down, any which way they could.
Which was great. I loved it.
It was really
super fun. A big thank you goes to everyone, all the companies that supported us on the scavenger hunt, and that was Westwind Studios. Thank you, Westwind. Wayland Games supported us and had one of the golden beasties up there. The painting competition from Salute itself had one of our golden beasties.
Hawk Wargames.
Hawk. Drop Zone Commander had one of our golden beasties. A massive thank you goes out to Forge World.
Oh yeah, Forge World. Black Library as well.
Not forgetting the mighty Black Library.
Yeah, Forge World and Black Library, who both officially supported the Beasts of War
Decent of them, I
Golden
thought, as well.
Beastie Scavenger Hunt. Thank you to you guys. You're great sports. It was really nice of them to host Golden Beasties onto their stands.
Well, they didn't have to.
They didn't have to, but they did, and it's very much appreciated.
Yeah, very good of you.
Big thank you from the bottom of our hearts for that one, because it made it extra difficult for people to find them.
Yeah, because it was unexpected.
People didn't expect it.
Yeah.
But it was good fun on the day. The photographs have come in from it. They are hilarious, but we set a challenge: find the 6 golden beasties, and then there were bonuses.
Yep.
If you had a photograph of you wearing your pants on the outside,
Yeah, the superhero pick.
yeah, you got it. You got a bonus. If you made a sign,
You got a bonus.
bearing in mind, Justin, this is his legendary sign. I've decided to keep it.
Well, actually, I thought that was being given away to the winner.
Yes, we will give that away to the winner. So, not that it's worth anything, but it's good for lighting the
It's a
fire
giggle.
and barbecue
It's a giggle.
season.
It's a giggle.
Are you still wondering what that is? This was Justin. He ran the spell checker on it.
It is spelled correctly.
But it was spelled
it's just
correctly.
grammatically wrong.
And that is why.
That
That's
is
why we have our news crew who check all my posts.
And that is why Ben and Sam check everything that
It's why
Justin writes.
spell checkers, as great as they are,
Yeah.
can't beat the old-fashioned way of
No,
knowing
they
how
can't.
the words are spelled.
So with all of that aside, there actually could be only one winner.
Yep.
Because one guy showed greatness beyond greatness.
Yes.
Amazingness beyond amazingness.
Yes.
And in one photograph, one photograph alone earned him so many points.
Yep.
And the winner gets this mighty Dreamforge collection.
Oh, no.
So there's a whole ton of Dreamforge coming your way, mate. It's pretty much everything they've done to date. If you want to know more about what it is, you can check it out on the Salute video. There we go, and you get one of these
The big one.
bad boys here. The winner is Alan Lee.
Yep.
So Alan, congratulations to you, mate. Well done. That load of prizes is going out to you.
So are you just trying to build this to hide me?
No. Well, I wasn't.
No, he is.
But
Bye.
I'm going to give another prize out, actually, because the reason being we had another entry that I think deserves a mention. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was a young guy called Seb who managed to convince his mum
Yeah.
to run around with him for the entire day
Yeah.
to play the scavenger hunt.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah.
And his mum's called Elaine. He's
So-
called Seb.
So Elaine wins.
Elaine wins. Yeah. Seb, this is for your mum. She is a winner. I think you're probably going to end up being the recipient of these, mate. But as a bonus prize, just for the fact that you tortured your poor mother all day by dragging her around the whole thing, we have a copy of Green Menace and a Merc starter army for the Texaco faction that's
Awesome.
going to wing its way over to you. So a game we think you
nice.
play because one of the dwarf pictures you did, which was with Ben,
that Mantic Dwarf?
we believe was a Mantic Dwarf. So we think you're into this stuff, and the Texaco faction because Mercs is just
cool.
so awesome.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah, nice one.
there's a thing. Nice one, Elaine, for putting up with that, and it's just put me in the mood. For next year, I'm going to bring my mum to Salute.
I will not be
So-
bringing my mum.
God willing, Mum, I'm going to take you to Salute next year. Right. I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah.
I think we're going to move on now to the XLBS, where we have some stuff to talk about.
Yeah, less on the lighter side of life.
Lots of letters winging around these days, aren't there? So if you're a backstager, stay tuned for XLBS. If you're not a backstager, consider joining Backstage. It's good fun. We have lots of stuff going on behind the scenes that we'd love you to be involved in. And, well, so be it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, folks, and we will see you again soon.